Welcome to the Out There Show. 7 scary NASA stories about aliens in space. Number 7. Resigned NASA space traveler Dr. Story Musgrave fulfilled a parcel in his career as a spaceman. He was the spaceman who went on to explore and flew on 6 space flights. Dr. Musgrave is additionally the foremost formally educated space explorer with 6 scholarly degrees. He is also the space traveler to fly on board all 5 space transport missions. Actually, with so much encounter and capability in space, Dr. Musgrave's word carries a part of weight and validity. So it would be troublesome to pass his claim almost seeing an 8-foot-long white wind coasting through space as a lie. It's not difficult to assume that this seems to have been a hose confined from the shuttle. But Musgrave remains unyielding. He claims he watched the 6 to 8 foot long eel or serpent-like animal on not 1 but 2 of his space flights. Number 6. Space traveler Yang Elborum got to be the primary space traveler to be sent into space by the Chinese program in 2003. He was sitting within the space carrier when he supposedly listened to a thump. According to Yang, it sounded like someone pounding a press bucket with a hammer made of wood, and sound cannot travel in space. The weight may not be perceived in case the thumping was inside the carrier or exterior, or on the edge of the spaceship. Then Yang looked out the opening, but he didn't see anything that might clarify the puzzling thumping. After returning to soil, Yang attempted to clarify the knocking to specialists, but he failed to reproduce the precise sound he listened to in space. This story gets to be ghostly now, since numerous other Chinese space travelers claim to listen to comparative sounds on their space trips as well. Number 5. In the Apollo 11 mission in 1969, a space traveler named Armstrong made a bolder articulation, saying 1 little step for man, and 1 mammoth jump for mankind. The hypothesis claims that when Apollo 11 come to the surface of the moon, Neil Armstrong communicated wonder at finding 2 obscure spacecrafts clearly displayed on the moon. Armstrong encouraged depicted these UFOs as being gigantic and lined up on the distant side of the crater's edge watching the Earth. The hypothesis started from NASA's claim of approximately losing transmission from Apollo 11 for 2 minutes. Did Neil Armstrong truly see UFOs during that time? Number 4. On the Apollo 11 mission, they were circling the moon, with space travelers on the vessel. Stafford, youthful and certain, listened to a certain shrieking sort of music. The music kept going for nearly an hour and scared the living daylights out of the space travelers. Cernan was especially spooked and depicted the sound as a sort of otherworldly music. On returning flight, the space explorer battled talking for a while on whether or not to tell NASA and the rest of the world almost what they experienced. Afterward, space explorer Michael Collins, who was 2 portion of the Apollo 11 mission with Aldrin and Armstrong, uncovered hearing comparative music near rovers on the moon's surface. Number 3. NASA space explorer Alan Bean was the 4th man to walk on the moon's surface. He got the opportunity to do so back in 1969, whereas guiding Apollo 12 and his walk on the moon. The dignitary claimed that he saw something sparkly off within the separate part of space. He described the question within the shape of a calfskin shoe. It's difficult to mull over what it is precisely, being so little, and shockingly there's not much of a clarification. Number 2. But Gemini IV space mission space travelers Ed White and James McDivitt would portray the UFOs they saw in a very unexpected way. On their first day of the mission in space, James McDivitt took note of something on the exterior of the shuttle that he seems not to recognize. The Curry was in a floating flight, and Ed White was snoozing when McDivitt watched this unidentified UFO pivoting near the ship. McDivitt got his camera and took a few pictures of this UFO, which looked like a brew can with a smooth pencil-like wing staying out. Be that as it may, tragically, the snaps he took were hurried and came out unfocused and ineffectively uncovered. McDivitt faulted the daylight glare for losing the UFO as the sun appeared on the window. He said, "It seems to be a UFO," and then the thing vanished. Number 1. During his time in the Air Force, Gordon Cooper claimed to come over a whole armada of UFOs. This seems to sound like an unjustifiable claim. But in 1963, once more, Cooper came across another comparable flying question. Like what he saw 10 years ago, which is a long time earlier. It flew towards him in the sky and was fascinatingly picked up by his plane's radar. It makes you ponder why these UFOs were so fascinated by Cooper. Thank you for watching. Now please like, subscribe and share, for more of the Out There Show. And check out our store on the upper right hand corner of our channel.